Hello, welcome to CEAZOR's Snack Sandwich. Today we're going to take a look at Idols. Now, Idols is a NFT project. I don't really cover NFT projects much, but this does have a pretty cool logic DeFi twist to it. And I think it's interesting enough to talk about it and explain it to you guys. So what is this NFT project? It's not live quite yet, but it's coming soon. And I think the NFTs look pretty cool. I'm interested in these. You know, there's quite a few of them and so forth, and I'll talk about them when I go into the flowchart more. But as you can see, they're kind of computer generated in the sense, they've got a whole bunch of assets and then they share the assets among each other and so forth. So I've gone through also through the docs. I've read all of them in full, and I've found some key little aspects that I would like to share and so forth. So I'm going to go over to a flowchart now, and from this flowchart I'm going to explain to you how this system works, okay? And some of the key features I found inside the docs. So of course, you get an NFT, it can be a PFP, and I kind of like these NFTs, and I kind of do think they might be suitable for an NFT or for a PFP. Maybe not for me because of my alias and so forth, but I do like them. I do think they're pretty nice. Okay. Now, there's a 10,000 supply of them. Only 10,000 of these NFTs will be made. However, like I said, they're they'll share some assets. So there's probably going to be several of them with wings, several of them with these blue cloaks and so forth. Little differences between them and so forth. And how to get one of these NFTs? Initially, there's going to be this thing called the offering, where you supply ETH to get one of these NFTs. I'm not exactly sure. Nowhere in the docs does it say how much ETH you're going to need to supply. So you have to keep an eye out for this project and watch it closely. And then you can probably find out how much ETH you will need to purchase one of these NFTs. Now, why are they selling these NFTs? The ETH that you use for this offering all goes 100% into the treasury. There's no fundraise, there's no team, pay the team. It's just all going straight into the treasury. Now, of course, the team does need some money from this. So they're going to take 1,000 of these 10,000 NFTs and give them to the community, the team, and so forth. This is how they're making their money. Okay. So the ETH goes into the treasury, and then the treasury has now ETH inside. So they're going to stake it for Lido stETH. Now, Lido stETH is ETH 2.0 staking node with rebasing rewards. Now, if you don't understand what this Lido stETH is, I do have a video on it. It's a pretty old video, but the system is still there running the way it was back then. So you can watch that video. I'll put a link to it at the end of this one. So all the ETH goes into the treasury and starts gaining yield in the form of ETH 2.0 rebasing rewards. I think it's around 5 to 8%, right? Now, where do these rewards go? The rewards go to the NFT holders, okay? So the ETH that goes in there, which is now stETH, is always locked. There's always going to maintain that ETH or that stETH in there so that every NFT has an intrinsic value based on that stETH, kind of like a floor, right? Now, there's no talk about any redeemability of taking the NFT, burning it, and getting back this stETH. However, when a project does maybe consider itself a failure or decides to close down for whatever reason, they will have this treasury full of stETH that's backing all of these NFTs. However, stETH, like I said, has yield. So all of the yield does come as a fee, as a kind of a dividend, we can call it, as fee sharing. So they take all of the rewards and they give it to the NFT holders distributed fairly across them all. So 1-to-1. So every NFT is it's equal to every other NFT should be. The only difference is if somebody thinks the picture is cooler than the other picture, but monetarily they are equal in all ways. So because this yield is constantly flowing to these NFT people, the prices on the market should rise. Okay. Now you see, I've written here that it says prices rise on a dedicated market. So they have their own market. It's permissionless. It's completely open. It can't be closed down by any other third-party entity. So you can always come to buy and sell your NFT if you decide you want to. And it does say here whitelisted contracts only, and I'll explain what that means in a few minutes, okay? So, it wouldn't be a DeFi project if it didn't have a governance token, some might say. Now, there are obviously exceptions to this rule. There are lots of DeFi projects that don't have governance tokens and are quite valid, but you get my idea. So there's just a governance token called Virtue. Now, what does this governance Virtue token do? is it gets commission from the sales of the NFTs. So like I said, the NFTs are sold on a dedicated market and the commission is 7.5%. So every time you sell one or buy one, that sale price has a 7.5% commission, and all of that money goes to the stakers of the Virtue token. Now, as these get traded more and more and more, hopefully they get traded a lot, then these Virtue stakers get more and more and more commission, right? And as the price of these NFTs goes up, then the commission gets bigger, right? So these Virtue tokens should go up in value as long as these NFTs are being traded and flipped and so forth, right? Now, the more people have to stake the Virtue token to get this commission. So the more they stake, the less liquidity there is outside in the market. And when, more demand, less liquidity comes to play, then we have price increase. And when price increase happens, we have arbitrage opportunity. So the third aspect of this protocol is if you want to get some of this Virtue, then you will bond with the stETH. Okay, so you would use stETH. This is after, after the offering is done and people want Virtue. They just want Virtue. So then they bring some stETH, they bond it, they get the Virtue tokens, and their stETH goes into the treasury and feeds more fees to the NFT holders. So it becomes like a feedback loop over and over and over and over, right? Now, why did I call it arbitrage? Is because I assume that this Virtue token will also have a liquidity pool somewhere. And maybe if the price goes up higher on the liquidity pool, it might be a better idea to bond instead of buying from the liquidity pool. And so I do think possibly that in most cases it will be better to bond instead of buy from the liquidity pool. However, the bonding does run on a bonding curve. So I'm going to swing back to the docs to show you this. As the supply of Virtue inside the bonding curve decreases, the amount of stETH increases. So the price of basically it just becomes more and more and more expensive the fewer Virtue that are sitting inside the bonding curve waiting to be bonded for. Now, if you do go through this, you can see that 75 million is for the bonding curve. 10% is for community treasure and liquidity acquisition. And then 15% is for team and advisors. 15 million is for team and advisors, invested alongside the bonding curve. So as the bonding curve moves down, then the vesting of this team share of these tokens comes out. So there is also these vesting governance tokens for the team and community and so forth. So I think this is a pretty interesting project. I'm not exactly sure whether I will invest in this or take part in this, but I do think it's interesting and I do think it's worth talking about and people should consider it. Now, as always, come and read the docs, check out their socials if you want to know more about this project. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.